Guys, it is finally here, the Dynasty Deep Dive. I'm going to break it all down here in today's episode. And if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, but we're going to get right into it because it'll be a little bit longer of a video. I'm not going to watch the trailer with you guys. Right here is the link. I'll also be sure to link that down below in the comments. But welcome back to the Campus Huddle, your home for news and information about EA Sports College Football 25. We know you have been awaiting more information about the fan favorite Dynasty mode. Before we get started with the Campus Huddle, let's hear from Kirk Herbstreit, yada yada yada. And the video, again, every single video keeps making me even more excited for this game. We are 2 weeks away. If you guys were able to pre-order Deluxe Edition or even the MVP bundle, you guys will have been able to get the game on the 16th, which again is 2 weeks away from me recording this video. But building a dynasty, I'm just going to highlight some things here. I'm not going to read literally every single word because this is 80 pages long, about 18,000 words. Absolutely crazy stuff. I'll be sure to link this down below for you guys to go ahead and check out this deep dive. But when we were in the early stages of designing Dynasty Mode, we talked with members of the community, college football experts, and coaches, read hundreds of blog posts and tweets, and watched countless wish list videos. We knew how important Dynasty was to our community, and we've heard loud and clear that our players want a deep experience that is representative of the current college football landscape, where roster management and talent acquisition are at the forefront of successful programs. With this in mind, we anchored our experience around the three core pillars: build your coach, build your program, and deliver the world of college football. That just warms my heart and gets me so excited. Again, the three pillars: build your coach. This encompasses the decisions you make on your coaching journey to the top of the college football world, whether you were starting as a coordinator at a small school and making your name for yourself before getting that first head coaching job, which we will be doing on this channel, or starting as a head coach at your dream school. Every decision you make on your journey matters. Build your program, deliver the world of college football. A lot has changed in college football over the last year, yet alone the last 11 years, basically highlighting how long the game has been gone. From the new 12-team college football playoff to conference realignment, we set out to recreate the ever-changing world of college football within Dynasty and provide you with the tools to customize your experience. That just, again, warms the heart. Their singular motto: satisfy the core community, because this is their game. That just brings me so much excitement, joy, almost makes me want to cry. I mean, loading this game up the first time, there will be tears. Building your coach, which is super in-depth this year, whether it's a coordinator, head coach, whatever it is going to matter. Kind of how you build your coach and the abilities to be able to build your program up from there. It will make a big time difference in how things actually work with the team. The coach progression, looks like you can get that through draft, goal-based results, each game individual stuff, such as beat your rival, beat a top 25 team, win a national championship, recruiting, stats. It's all there, and I'm assuming the coaching goals in game. As we get down here, you can see first down, touchdown pass gets you 20 XP, so on and so forth. I'm sure rushing touchdown is pretty similar, and we get another shot there actually of Kentucky at Kroger Field, and it is looking pretty good. You can also see the breakdown of the coaching XP goals there. I'm assuming that's at the end of a season because of the amount of times completed, or at least maybe midpoint. Experience award, yeah, I'm not too sure, but it does look like after every week you'll see, almost like the old game, how much XP you stacked up for your coach. It does have the different archetypes, in which I highly recommend reading this in depth and how you are able to build your coach, but there is no single formula to reach these statuses when it comes to program builder or CEO or elite status. You do have three different backstory types or archetypes for your coach, or they're technically a total of 11 archetypes within their own focus and focuses on each of their own perks. But the three main tiers here, you've got the motivator, recruiter, and tactician. Again, you need to choose wisely. Not only that, but then your coordinators on how that is able to help you build your team, whether it is you pick the motivator route and you want your coordinators to be a recruiter and tactician, or vice versa, you can be the recruiter, have a motivator, and a tactician. So you have to balance a lot of things in order to get what you want to do. For example, in order to become an elite recruiter, you must spend 50 coach points in the recruiter archetype and sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. Once these goals are completed, the archetype becomes available for purchase with coach points. When creating your coach, you will select which base archetype you want to start with. The other 2 base archetypes will then be available for purchase with coach points without the need to meet any additional requirements. So again, you have a starting base and you can kind of work your tree out that way. And we do have a picture right here on the different trees and types that you're able to go through, and then you'll also be able to take a look at your offensive and defensive coordinator. And I believe they do mention it here in the article as well, that if, let's say, you're the head coach and you have your offensive and defensive coordinator, you can select, I believe, which archetype you want them to be, but then you don't actually get to choose what then boosts and bonuses and things that you're able to buy from there, the abilities, that's actually done automatically. So you have to choose wisely. Talks about the different abilities here, which we won't go too in depth, but it is definitely something you will want to read up on. The battery pack caught napping, increase delay to defenders looking to the sideline at the snap, so that's pretty cool. On their heels, team composure boost for first downs gained while running hurry up. That's also awesome. Again, a lot of good stuff there. You can see the team, this looks like Stanford here for the recruiter, and kind of the breakdown of what types of abilities you have to work with within the recruiter. And then once you get the elite recruiter unlocked, how to actually pick all of that off. You can see the coach points here in the top right hand corner, and you can see how much each of these tier-based abilities are, and it looks like there are 4 tiers to each ability, almost kind of like the last game in 2014, how some of them had different tiers. You'll be able to boost those up, which I'm sure come with increased ability for different things. And then again, it talks about the coordinators, how that works. And what I was mentioning before, your coordinators will automatically progress their archetypes and abilities. You will not be able to control which abilities they purchase, nor will you be able to respec your coordinator's abilities. This adds even more importance to how you progress your coach and manage your staff in the coaching carousel, which sounds really exciting. We'll get to that here as well. Climbing the ladder, able to sign your contracts through the coaching carousel and kind of build your way up. You will have your contracts, you will have the ability to potentially be fired or even kind of move your way up. And as we get into the coaching carousel, it does look like they're kind of taking everything into effect from the past about it's going to be completely revamped when it comes to how it works, what times does it happen, and actually we can get into that. How does it work? The carousel kicks off during conference championship week. During this week, all coach contracts are processed, and schools determine if they want to fire, extend, or let a coach's contract expire. If your school has decided to fire or extend you, you'll receive an action item notifying you of the news. If you are the head coach, you will also be able to fire your coordinators during this week. More on that later. And then once you advance the week and arrive in bowl season, the first round of job offers will go out. If you receive any job offers, you will be notified via action item titled View Job Offers. So again, it does look like it's not just a one-off thing and you have to wait for things to happen and wait for your opportunity. It does seem like you will have all opportunities offered to you at once. And I'm also curious how that works. Let's say you're a head coach at, let's say, Ball State, and you get a head coaching job offer at, let's say, USC, and you take the job. Let's say you're going to a bowl game. Will that affect your players and how they respond and how they play, given the fact that you're leaving? That'll be very interesting to see if that will be the case. How do schools determine who they want to hire? Level, scheme, archetype, pipeline, coaching prestige. So there's a lot that goes into it, especially let's say you're kind of trying to develop as a coordinator, working your way up to head coach, which we will be doing on the channel. That's really cool that it's not just your prestige. There's a lot more in depth that has to go into how that will be decided. Just amazing stuff. Game theory and the domino effect. You can see some screenshots here. For the coaching carousel, it looks like you get all the offers at once as obviously the weeks go by. Just a few more pictures, just looking really cool. Went to the NFL, that's also very cool. Managing your staff, again, we have the ability to fire our coordinators. You can hire coordinators, you can hire coaches. That's just super duper awesome. I'm wondering if there'll be an interim type basis with potential coaches. Let's say you fire somebody during conference championship week. Are you just going to go into the game without a coordinator, or do you have to hire somebody to bring them into your team for 1 week, play your bowl game, and then you have the whole off season with them? It'll be interesting to see how that specifically works. You'll be able to view their talent trees. We'll need to be able to diagnose and kind of get some teams in there, or get some guys in there that'll work for our archetype to help balance things out. Build your program, again, with recruiting 4 core goals. Ultimately, we landed on 4 core goals when building your program. Humanize recruits by giving them unique needs and motivations that the player has to discover by interacting with the recruit. Differentiate regions of the country by player caliber, quality, and type to authentically capture high school talent based on historical real-world data. Represent the different resources available to schools, ensuring the top schools can blanket the country, while smaller schools will need to be more targeted with their approach, and then make the transfer portal feel authentically unpredictable. So that's going to be really, really fun. There are going to be 3 stages to recruiting. It is going to be discovery, pitch, and close. It is a lot like NCAA 13 as opposed to 14, where it was the points-based system. 13 was more so you add in hours. It's a little bit more in depth. You can see how it talks about the 134 ways to play the game. Every school is graded D- to A+ across 14 different categories, which comprise their My School grades. And again, this is a lot like the old NCAA games, which I think is highlighted best in NCAA 2013. And the 14 different grades are as follows: playtime, playing style, championship contender, program tradition, campus lifestyle, stadium atmosphere, pro potential, brand exposure, academic prestige, conference prestige, coach stability, athletic facilities, and proximity to home. I won't go into the nitty-gritties of those, but if you played any of the old NCAA games from the past, you will understand what exactly those are 100%. I don't need to go into it too crazy for you guys, but looking at it here, again, it just gives a little bit more of a breakdown of playing time graded on per player basis, the player's overall or projected overall if they are a recruit, as compared to the team's roster to project how many years it will take for them to become a starter. There are a lot of lifestyle awesome things that are kind of like built into the game that allow a lot easier options to be able to analyze and figure out what players will work best when it comes to recruiting. You can see sort of the breakdown here of the different areas that you were trying to recruit for, and how that could potentially affect and players at risk and so on and so forth, because you're not just only recruiting your future players from high school and the transfer portal, but you also need to manage your players who are on your team, because they could also end up transferring out due to, let's say, championships contender. Some of your players aren't happy with where you're at, so they're at a higher risk of transferring out. And you can see the running back 81 overall. For an 81 overall team, that would be a tough loss. As we move on here, recruits and where they come from, again, they are all over the place. There are different areas in which you're able to produce great talent. So, for example, Southern California is known for producing great quarterback talent, while East Texas consistently produces some of the best wide receivers in the country. However, we didn't stop there. We wanted to go deeper to ensure we are capturing the authenticity of high school talent. Yes. East Texas is known for producing great receivers, but more specifically, they are known for how big and physical the receivers are. As a result, you're going to see bigger and more physical receivers coming out of East Texas, whereas South Florida is going to produce incredibly flat, fast, deep threat receivers who have a smaller size. So just the in-depth attention to detail, nitty-gritty stuff is just at the forefront of the developers, and that is amazing to see. What a recruiter cares about, you can read into that. Recruiting pipelines are back, which is awesome to see. They go really in depth with that, as it is basically being completely revamped. Initial interest and top schools, you can sort of see that here as well. And then it starts talking about the discovery, or the different stages of recruiting. You've got the discovery, where you need to identify your players, in which we have to identify position, player type, state, minimum star rating, height, weight, handedness for quarterbacks only, and then interest in your school. You will have your list of prospects. Looks like you have the target. I don't think I see anything. I do see the interest. So the interest filter will definitely come into play, just like in the old games. They have the team needs bar, which everything is kind of like right up here at the top, that you're able to kind of flick through really quickly, which is really awesome. The team needs is back, and it does look like it does give you like a depth chart and what you have already on your team and what you have signed and what you have targeted. So it's just making recruiting so much easier. It is a little bit more in depth, but that is a-okay with me. I would rather have it more in depth than kind of just bare bones for the start of this game. We've got the recruiting board, and man, oh man, it looks so clean and nice as we take a look at Prince Gee, who is a 5-star, not too sure, left outside linebacker from Texas, or from Camden, New Jersey. I'd say that's pretty realistic, and I would like to think Penn State is up there, and they are. So really cool. You can see when their visit is, and how all of that action items will work. You got to scout the players to be able to learn all about their attributes and mentals and development traits. And I do not believe just scouting once you're able to unlock everything. You have to spend multiple points, or it might be over multiple weeks, that you're able to get a fully scouted player to be able to determine, are they a bust? Are they going to be great to bring in? This guy, Frank Mahoney, athlete, 5-star, absolutely nasty looking player. He could be most likely a wide receiver at 6'6", 247. Definitely not a run blocker. Awareness, catching, 84, agility. Yeah, that guy is definitely a receiver for sure. Each attribute has 4 states of scouting: unscouted, partially scouted, mostly scouted, and fully scouted. So again, you got to be able to get them fully scouted to be able to determine if they are worth bringing into your squad. Finding the ideal pitch is definitely going to be something that we're going to need to get accustomed to, because it hasn't been in the game in a while. The 5 recruiting actions are as follows. You can offer the scholarship, search on social media, DM the player, contact friends and family, and send the house. Basically every single person trying to get that guy on your team, which is amazing to see. And you can see the different action items listed there and how much time it's going to take out of the total time that it looks like you have for that player. And it looks like you got 50 hours per player. And this top recruiter, you have the ability to do 1,000 total hours to spread out across all your players. And I did also see that you can have up to 1,000 hours, or if you're a lower school, you're only going to have like 350 hours to kind of allocate towards all players. You've got the pitch, soft sell, hard sell. Obviously, hard sell is going to be what you're looking to do, but it will most likely cost you more points to do so. And you can see there, soft sell, 20 hours, hard sell, 40. Let's just go with minutes. We'll say minutes, 40 minutes. Big time. And then you also have to be able to align your pitch properly, find the best pitch for the player as the grades align with those different school types that you have within your disposal. And then you got to close. You got to schedule the visit, offer the scholarship. It's pretty similar to how games were in the past with if you bring somebody in and you do well and you win, that's massive bonus points, and you get them committed to your school. Yay for Alabama right there. Decided to leave. Again, transfer portal is in the game. So again, I was talking a little bit earlier about that. Need to keep your players happy, and maybe you're going to fall short on some players with that, and then it does seem like you'll be able to persuade players to try to stay if possible, whether they're going to the draft or transferring for whatever the reason it might be. You also have the ability to make players transfer. The transfer portal is very similar with bringing players in for recruiting. Looks like the list is very similar, and you can bring them on your recruiting board by just adding them in, but apparently it is going to be a lot quicker of a process to try to get a transfer player on your team, so you kind of have to balance the high school recruits with the transfer portal recruits and how that will fill on your team. It is a big time thing. Signing day is broken up into early signing day and regular signing day, which is awesome. National signing day, I should say, which is really cool. There's going to be verbal commitments, full regular commitments. We've got the position changes, player progression, just like the last game, although it is a little different with the 4 player development traits. We've got normal, impact, star, and elite, and it just gets better as you go down the list there for how well the players actually develop. So we want to look for the star and elite players. Even an impact player can really develop faster than just a normal type development player. So we need to look out for that. The skill groups are going to be huge. With bringing in at skill positions, especially let's say they're a star, and they will have the ability to develop these skills a lot faster than if they were a normal player trying to develop. It would be a little bit slower. Maybe by the time they were a junior, senior, they would have a couple, but not as much as a star or elite player, such as our boy Judkins here, who has a ton of abilities and skills and everything under the sun. Just awesome stuff here. You've got the different physical type as well as the mental type abilities, which is just amazing because they will have an impact in the game, having all the different abilities in which we will need to read into and figure out which ones work best. What are the metas for each position and what you want to do? We will definitely get into that as the game goes on. And wear and tear, they do bring that up here, in which you will need to really balance how that works. As you can see here, Donovan Edwards, a little bit of wear and tear, slightly wear and tear, will have negative effects on his speed, on his breaking tackle, on his carrying ability. That's going to be something we're going to have to manage throughout the season. Let's say we have a big game coming up and we win the game, but we lose our running back, for this instance, in that game, and the next week we play an FCS school. We may want to sit him out to let him get a little bit healthy, but then again, that may hurt and affect his ability to potentially win awards, in which we obviously are always going for. They get into delivering the world of college football, and again, this will be the first time we see the 12-team college football playoff as pictured on screen right now, and that's going to be absolutely crazy. I cannot wait to see that. It will be interesting how the game dynamic works with selecting the teams. Let me just read this here. There are a lot of intricacies with how the new college football playoff format that college football fans will need to get used to. During development, members of our team were able to participate in a mock selection committee session hosted by the college football CFP, college football committee, I'm assuming, to help them better understand the process of how the committee determines their rankings. And with the expansion to the new 12-team format, we're able to apply those learnings to project how the committee will value wins and losses in a world where going undefeated in a power conference is going to be less and less common, and the perception of schedule imbalance continues to widen. So again, they have gone in depth to try to figure out how it is exactly going to work. It'll be interesting to see how it does work, but again, just going above and beyond with how they're trying to make the game as real as possible. And again, we will be able to see how it'll work for the very first time in the game before it actually happens in real life. That'll be really, really fun. They talk about it a ton. They also have 34 bowl games, each using their real world bowl tie-ins, which again, the realism is just amazing right there. Meet your neighbor, again, conference realignment. They kept the Pac-12 in the game, so if you guys want to, season 1, you can kind of just stick all the teams back where they were supposed to be from this past season, and then kind of go from there in kind of recreating the 23-24 season, which is really, really cool. You'll be able to custom conference or custom schedules. They have the ability, actually, they have a lot of the future games schedules that all the teams have for the next couple of years, which is really awesome. So if you want to keep it as authentic as humanly possible, you can do so. If you want to obviously change things up, you can do that as well. I know they are trying to keep the games around their traditional schedules. I'm trying to see it. It talked about that at some point in here, where the games will be played on the right days in the right time periods of the year. So the traditional rivalry games will happen at the right time. They can also see here that when a team switches a conference, the conference will actually look the same, because right now JMU is in the Sun Belt, and this picture right here shows them in the ACC, shows up there on the field, and as well on the jerseys you can see the ACC patch. So it's pretty seamless. You can move teams in and out, and the conference patch and logo on the fields will match as well. Here it is. Let's talk schedules. If it's the third Saturday in October, Tennessee better be playing Alabama. If it's Thanksgiving weekend, then the Iron Bowl, the big game, Florida State versus Florida, and a host of other rivalry games better be on the table next to the turkey and stuffing. And they have definitely confirmed that that will be the case, just adding another layer of realism. As you can also see here, 2027-2028, Florida State and Georgia home and home series will already be scheduled. 2029-2030, Notre Dame, Alabama home and home will be scheduled, etc. So a lot of stuff that they have kept traditional. They've added something about week 0, which is going to be really cool. Have the ability to still customize your conference or your non-conference games, which is amazing. I do hope they talk about here the crowd themes in which they talked about in the presentation. If your school does a whiteout, blackout, checkerboard, striping, etc., you will see those crowd themes in the first home game of the season for rivalry games, and if you are named as the game of the week. I also hope they give us the ability to select the games in which we want the stripe out, the whiteout, the blackout, the checkerboard. That would be something really cool that they could add to the game. Setting the conferences, again, that fully customizable. This is still able to move some things around, which is awesome to see. Again, everything in game is already looking super duper clean. Team Builder is in online Dynasty, which is amazing, but you do have to substitute real life schools if you are bringing a team in. Burn a shirt or not burn a shirt. For red shirting, you have the ability to actually have players play the minimum 4 games. They can't play the 5th, or they burn the red shirt. A little bit revamped, more so to how things are nowadays, which is amazing to see and just gets me so excited for this game. Just the realism is out of this world. Earning some hardware. They've got the Heisman, obviously. They've got all the trophies, all the conference championship trophies, all the bowl trophies, rivalry game trophies. They've got the Heisman Trophy, most outstanding player in college football. I believe that they also talk about, the Lou Gorza, the Lombardi, and the Unitas Golden Arm Award. I don't believe they have the Bolitnikoff. I don't believe they have the Maxwell Award. So there are a few awards that we are going to be missing out on in terms of all of that. But preseason, postseason All-Americans will be in it as well. First, second, freshman teams for the nation and the conference level 2, again, just more in depth. Records will still be able to be broken. The helmet stickers are really cool. You can see starting in the season, you're not going to have a lot of stickers. Later on in the season, for the teams that do helmet stickers, it is plastered everywhere, which is, again, just an amazing in-depth way of getting that to happen. You can see it with Florida State with the Tomahawks, and you can see it with Ohio State and the Buckeyes. Just amazing stuff. So what else? They talk about a little bit more with online or offline Dynasty and everything there, post-game speech. Again, they are really pushing for the satisfy the core community because this is their game, and it really is our game, guys. There is so much that I didn't really go into in this video as well that I highly encourage you to go ahead and check out in this deep dive community news post, blog post, whatever you want to call it. There's a ton there to get excited about because, man, oh man, I am sure excited for this game. But that's really going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know your comments down below what you're most excited about. I know they do also reference that we will be getting another deep dive in regards to the, they said, why am I drawing a blank? For the, not Dynasty, but the Road to Glory. They will be bringing us, I believe, in either the next Dynasty or coming soon, hopefully later this week, and just getting us so amped up and ready for this game. Again, 17,000 words in this article and 85 pages worth of information to digest. Again, highly recommend check out the blog post. I will put it down below in the description. I will put the video link down in the description as well for the trailer for this deep dive. But again, let's start the conversation down below. What are you guys most excited about? What do you think that they missed in this article that we kind of need a little bit more description on? I feel like they did a pretty good job explaining it as much as they could in 17,000 words. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, and we will catch you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.